summer sun, entertaining is a high priority for many households. Although cookouts and gathering places may require an examination of the decking. Does it stand up to the test of time? Is it party ready? Or does it require an upgrade? These are questions that ProSource Trade Pro member and owner of Heritage Remodeling, Charlie O'Hearn, had to navigate.
The previous deck was aged out with the improper flashing against the house. Basically, you get water that will run down on the band board, and it can go, number one, rot the band board, but it can also rot the outside ledger board on the house. That was a major thing. The posts were rotting at the bases, which is common. And at that point, there's so much other things it needs. Let's just tear it all down if we do it.
Asking these questions were homeowners LeElla and Greg. Once they had their answers, Charlie was there to bring their dreams to life.
The goal of the project started out as just having the composite decking put on the top. And once we were in process, when they called us, they showed us a video or FaceTime where they were sticking their fingers through the entire wooden beam. And I had just had a party the week before, and I can't believe we didn't fall through. It started out just being a little thing, and it ended up being an entirely brand new deck.
Working with Greg and LeElla was great. The previous deck was, again, aged out, even though Greg really maintained it as well as he could year to year. So the decking is a synthetic decking, so really the only maintenance to it is power washing. It's a clipped system, so the fasteners are hidden. You don't see any of the attachment points other than up against the house. We have to face screw, and those have plugs that match the decking. The handrail is an aluminum handrail that's painted with a coating. Looks very similar to old wrought iron, but it never rusts. It never has any issues with that. But as far as product choices, everything's waterproof. The structure is still a treated lumber, but because it's covered surface-wise and capped underneath, that helps limit, any moisture that could damage that. We reflashed under the siding, so where the water's diverted out. This actually has a gutter system that is a membrane that sits under the decking and tips outward to a gutter to divert any water that does collect out and down the gutter system. So that was a different aspect to this one that we don't do on every deck. My input was more go with this type of product than it was go with this specific brand. I trusted Mark to recommend brand-wise, what's going to fit what we need the best.
ProSource Trade Pros work in lockstep with their account manager, communicating throughout the process. Account manager Mark Allen was ready to answer the call and provide the dedicated service needed.
So working with the homeowner and the member here on this particular project, a lot of communication went place, and that's normally what happens with ProSource. We work closely with both homeowner and member, letting them know timelines, where material is, when it's going to be in, so there's no delay. So some of the challenges I had was when you're looking at decking material and the colors, you got to look at it. Hey, is there shade involved? Is there, it's all sun? So if we're dealing with an all sun, the darker the color, it's going to be hotter on the foot. Most people are going to be barefooted during the summertime. So try to do a lighter color if it's going to be in a full sun versus a shaded area.
Mark has a little bit of experience actually installing decking and doing some of the construction himself. So that's super helpful as far as he when I talk about the flashing against the house or certain products we're going to use, he knows what I'm talking about ahead of time. And it's not just a cosmetically, here's what your choices are kind of thing. It's more of, okay, this is going to work better for what you're doing versus this. So his experience at doing some of the labor really helps out.
So I was cleaning the doors, and the doors that came with the home or was built at probably the same time as the deck, I realized they were kind of falling apart. And we were getting ready to go on vacation. I thought somebody could just push the door and it would fall in. And I said, we got to get new doors.
So we were contracted to do the deck. We noticed immediately downstairs that door was bad because we were going in and out of the house through there. And so instantly we knew that door was bad. This door was in rough shape, but not near what the other one was. So at that point, I suggested that, we swap these not just for cosmetic issues, just usability. The other thing with these opening double wide, as opposed to a single door, if you're having a party or something and you're leaving the doors open, people can come in and out. It feels more comfortable, with the room. This door is a manual open and close with a handle as opposed to having the flip tabs that you have to pull up and down. So These are super handy for, making full access very, very quick and easy. Not a whole lot of expansion and contraction. They are wood, but they're aluminum clad on the outside, insulated glass, and then simulated divided light that actually goes through the glass so it looks like a real traditional mullion window.
ProSource Wholesale product specialist Henry Nelson was able to help with his product knowledge and attentive nature.
So the challenge on these projects always is not only working with the end customer, but working with the installer as well. As far as the description of the product, I can cover that with the customer. The specifications, the size, the height, the depth, that has to be all covered with the installer. Once I have a pretty good idea of what that door is going to look like to appease the customer, then I go to the installer and review all specifications with him so it fits perfectly in the opening that's already existing. Well, on this project, the whole design thing that we had to think about is these doors were very exposed to the weather. In other words, there was no roof or protection over top of them. So to prevent water and wind infiltration, these doors met the bill. That they were very secure and cut out the wind and the rain.
I loved working with Henry. He is super great. He does a lot of just finding out what you want, finding out what you need. Going to the showroom is kind of amazing. You have a lot to pick from, and it kind of gets hard that way. Makes me want to do the bathroom and another room, but it is really neat and it's fun, and the people there are so helpful. So when I went to pick out my doors, he started from the beginning. What do you want? What's your style? What are you looking for? What's the function? And they were amazing.
So working with ProSource is great. They have a large number of products, especially doors and windows has really expanded over the past couple of years. Decking is a newer product for them, but they still have multiple choices and options to select from. There's a lot of places that will show you one thing, but they can't show you options to go with it or other products to compare it to. So just being able to see and touch things on site versus somewhere else. And then also being confident that with who you're working with has experience, knows what they're talking about.
The process of each project is unique, but by trusting their ProSource trade professional member, Greg and LeElla can now enjoy their new outdoor space.
The final results are, I'm very pleased. We do spend more time out there now. We spend our evenings out there now. We eat dinner on the deck. We eat dinner on the patio. I can't say enough. I'm glad we did it. I didn't like the fact that our old deck was falling down. Now that we know it did and it's all changed and we have a brand new deck, I love having company and I like the looks of it and I want to stay home more often.